How do you start a blog? How do you start blogging? Hi, this is Tom from wagefreedom.com, coming to you from Bali this morning. Today I've got a step-by-step, really a click-by-click guide to starting your very own WordPress blog on Bluehost. Now, this guide assumes no prior technical knowledge whatsoever. So if you've been a little intimidated in the past at the thought of starting your own blog, if you follow along with me here, you're going to miss no steps. Okay? I'm going to guide you setting up with one of the biggest hosts in the world, Bluehost. Now, why Bluehost? They offer 24/7 chat and phone support. They offer very good pricing, including aggressive discounts from time to time, like the discount you'll get today if you follow along with me in this tutorial. Another benefit of following along here is that you'll get a free domain name for your first year. Now, I'll explain what that means in a minute. Bluehost offers a 30-day money-back guarantee on your hosting, so you can get started with no risk. So if after a week or two you decide this blogging thing isn't for you, I mean, it's not for everybody. Bluehost offers a very easy WordPress installation. In fact, they've made it even easier recently, so I've gone back to update this guide to reflect that. Now, today we're going to do all the back-end configuration you need. We're going to install basic plugins, and if you stick with me to the end, you'll have created your very first blog post, including text, images, and we'll even embed a video for you. Remember, finally having your own online presence is step one of using the internet to make money, so you can finally participate yourself in the new economy. So are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so to follow along with me, the first link that you see in the description below this YouTube video is going to take you to this page on wagefreedom.com. If you'd like to follow with me click by click, then all you have to do is go to this page and click this link right here. Now, full disclosure, this is an affiliate link. This means I'll get paid a commission if you do sign up through my affiliate link. However, this does not increase the cost of your hosting. In fact, you'll get the best current price for Bluehost hosting if you sign up through this link, and you'll also get the free domain that I mentioned earlier for the first year. So just go ahead and click this link, click through to this page, click Get Started Now, and you'll be looking at 3 different plans to choose from. I'm going to suggest you go for the cheapest of the 3, the basic. Okay. The main difference between basic and plus is that plus allows you to host unlimited domains with your plan. Now, the thing is, with the basic, you can upgrade to plus at any time if you get a good idea for sites in the future, which you're probably going to do. But for today, let's just keep it simple and relatively inexpensive, and go with the basic. Okay, so just hit select. Now, the great thing about signing up with Bluehost for 12 months or more is that you get a free domain with your sign up. Okay, now, normally domain names can cost anywhere from $9 to $15 a year roughly, but this is going to be a free domain that comes with your hosting package. Okay, so this is a good benefit. In fact, it's so good that I'm actually going to be running through this today myself with you. I've got an idea for a new website, possibly a business, and I want to lock in this domain that is available so that it doesn't get away from me. So it's also going to help you go step by step through every stage of this process. Okay, the way I would approach the domain that you're going to get today is, first of all, do a check to see if your name is available as a domain that nobody has yet registered. Okay, if it is available, then as a .com, then go ahead and register it. That's a safe way forward. I mean, this domain could end up being, your brand for anything that you want to do moving forward, whether it's freelancing and client work, or it's promoting yourself as a writer or an artist, or anything you might be doing. That's all I'll say about it right now. I've got more in the article to my thoughts on this process. I'm going to assume that you've come up with, you've done a check, or at least you've come up with an idea for a domain, and go ahead and enter it in the new domain field right now. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with you. Just to throw this in here, drone pilot coaching, the American FAA has finally come up with guidelines for commercial drone pilots, and I anticipate that good quality information about being a commercial drone pilot will be in demand going forward. There's a lot one could do with a site built, with this name. You could supply that information. You could create a course. You could collate information that's already online. I'm not a drone pilot or even an expert on drones, but we certainly can use the internet and Google to become, to know enough about something and to find out enough relevant sources of information to point people towards. So, bottom line, there are ways that even as a non-expert, I could move ahead with a site built on this domain that could help people. This is the route I'll be taking, and I'd like you to enter in your domain right now as well. And let's go ahead and both of us click next after you've done that, okay? Alrighty. First of all, we see that this domain's available, okay? I already knew that it was, and I'm hoping that you came up with an idea beforehand, and you found that your domain was available as well, okay? Because again, we're going to save, $10 or $11 depending on the registrar that we'd otherwise use by having this included in our new hosting package with Bluehost, okay? I'm going to fill in all my information and move forward. So we've got the basic plan for 12 months. Let's choose that one. 24, 36, you'll pay less on a monthly basis if you go longer out. But I think that 12 months is good. I wouldn't go less than that because you'll pay quite a bit more on a month if you go month to month for your hosting, and they'll bill you every month, and if you were to forget after a few months or not pay or something, you would lose your hosting and your new website. I think 12 months is a good happy medium. Most of my hosting packages I do in 1 year chunks, so that's fine. And of course, the real benefit is the primary domain registration that they're going to throw in for free, which definitely saves us money right off the bat. Last thing on this page is these 5 boxes here. Let's uncheck all of them. They're offers that we don't need right now, or maybe at all, with the exception of domain privacy protection. And I'll explain what that is to you now. For any domain name, you can find the name and address of the person who registered it, unless they have domain privacy protection on it, okay? Now, for 99 cents a month, you can prevent anyone from seeing that your name and address are associated with the registration of that domain. There are different attitudes towards doing this. I can say that while I do have domain privacy protection on several of my domains, I've got a whole bunch of them that I don't have privacy protection on. To the best of my knowledge, I've never had a privacy intrusion because some of my domain names have my name and address still attached to them, if you know where to look. However, if you would be more comfortable, then by all means, especially if it's maybe your name that you're registering, go ahead and tick the box and do pay the extra $1 a month if you would feel more comfortable doing that. So right now I'm going to enter in my payment information and my account information so that I can move forward with the registration of my new domain, which I'm excited about. You go ahead and do the same. And let me just draw your attention to more payment options. So you can pay with PayPal, which is what I'm going to do today. Okay, great. Now you should see a page very similar to this with your email address there, obviously. So let's go create our password. And that's something I want to explain to you. Okay, let's go ahead and let's let it suggest a very complex one. Please go ahead and copy and paste it to a safe spot
so you will have it in the future. Now we've successfully created a password. Let's go ahead and we will log in. Okay, great. We have thousands of free WordPress themes that'll make really nice blogs and websites. Since I don't know exactly what themes you're going to be seeing when you go to this page, I'm going to suggest that you skip this step, and I'm going to get you into one that I know that you're going to see when you get into your WordPress dashboard. Now go to the email account that you used to sign up for your new hosting. You should have gotten 3 emails from Bluehost, and one of them does require that you come in and you verify your email so they can activate your domain name. So just come on in and please hit this verify your email button. Okay, so it should say who is verification. You've successfully verified. You've got a partial window for this particular part of the video. But yeah, if you're verified, then you are fine. Now let's just go ahead and hit Start Building. Great. Instead of just telling you where to click and you just follow along, which I am doing, let me explain to you a basic concept here.
So you may have heard the terms domain name, hosting, maybe even WordPress. What are they exactly and how do they all work together? A domain name is a unique address on the web, okay? Like google.com or wagefreedom.com, all right? Individuals can purchase domain names. Now, you need to do something with that. So you get hosting. You purchase a hosting package, which is analogous to land that you can essentially take the address that you purchased and apply it to that land that you are basically renting from a hosting company, in this case Bluehost. Okay? Once we have our hosting package, we put the address on it so that whatever content is on google.com or wagefreedom.com has a place to actually reside. So what role does WordPress play?
WordPress is a content management system, or a CMS, that simply allows us to build on the hosting that we purchased, on the land, you could say, that we purchased. The new structure that we're going to build on this land that has the unique address, your domain name, this is going to be taken care of by WordPress. Why do I recommend WordPress as your content management system? At this point, it powers about 30% of the entire web, okay? Everything from personal websites to enormous billion-dollar corporations use WordPress. It is a free CMS. It's endlessly customizable. You've got endless plugins to alter the look and the functionality of your site, so you can control every aspect of your new website, your new blog, through your WordPress dashboard that you're looking at right here. As we move through this, you'll see that it's fairly intuitive and fairly clear, even for a non-tech person, to get started building your website, building your blog using WordPress. Let's go ahead and proceed. They're asking us, they're going to step us through a little bunch of questions. Let's just say we don't need help, since I'm going to take you through my normal setup routine. Okay, so just I don't need help is just fine. All right, are you following along with me? We can hit launch site, but before we do, if you're curious, you can just go ahead and in a new browser tab, enter your new domain in the HTTP field, and you should see a placeholder page very similar to this. Okay, no need to click anything. This is the front end. This is the front end of the site. This is the site that any visitor would see if they came to your site at this point, but it's not going to look like this for long. So let's go ahead and hit launch right now, because I want to include launching in this tutorial for you. I think it's not right for me to just show you how to install WordPress and then leave you to your own devices. The whole point of this tutorial, if you stick with me, is you're going to be configured properly. We're going to get the basic plugins installed, and we're going to get you your first blog post with text, images, and an embedded video, as I say. So, okay. Congratulations, your site is now live. Let's head back to this page again and let's hit refresh and see what we see. Alrighty, it looks different. What did we do that was different? Now, what we have on this new domain name is actually a WordPress installation, okay? A minute ago, we had our raw land, you could say, but now we've got the basics of the structure that we're going to build. This confirms that you have successfully installed WordPress. You should be seeing something that looks very similar to this, depending on when you're following along on this tutorial with me, okay? We're right where we should be.
Okay, let's click on Dashboard here, please, and Home. Alrighty. This is your actual WordPress dashboard, not related to Bluehost. So please scroll it down to Users. And I've zoomed us in a little bit, so hopefully you can see this on the left sidebar. Most of what we're going to do for the rest of this tutorial is going to be controlled by the left sidebar. So let's go to All Users, and we are going to reset your password, and then we're going to log you in from our login page. So scroll it down, and right below Admin, please hit Edit. Now let's scroll it down again and take a look at username admin, and notice that it cannot be changed, and that's fine, that's okay for our purposes. Keep scrolling down. Now, if you'd like to put a profile picture here, you could go ahead and do that. I do for, I think, Wage Freedom, I've got a profile picture in this area. Up to you. It's a good way to connect with your readership. So I would probably recommend it. Now, I've already done this, so I'm just going to direct you. New password. Please generate password. Hit this button one time, and you're going to see a password beneath it, and I'll ask you to just please copy that. Drag your mouse button over it and copy it, and then paste it into a document of some kind, a new email or anything you want to. It's going to look real ugly, but that means it's real secure, right? So hit Update Profile, please. Give it a minute and let it save, and when you've done that, please log out. Okay, in the upper right-hand corner. Great, so you're logged out. So please just take this URL on the top, and again, this is the updated tutorial I'm doing because because Bluehost has changed their interface. So I've got another domain name here, but don't worry about it. Okay, this is going to be your login for WordPress. Okay, so please copy that and put it with your password. Okay, email it to yourself, something like that. Both the login page URL and the password. And now when you've got admin here, we know that's our username, and just go ahead and paste in password and just hit login. Okay? And this will get you in the first time to your WordPress dashboard, from which you will make your website and do everything you have to do. All right? All right. So here we are.
Hey, it's me again. You might be wondering why we're doing a password reset when you already set your password. I wanted to show you how to reset it from within your WordPress dashboard. I think that's important to know how to do. At any rate, take a little break and enjoy a sunset from Bali, Indonesia. And I've got a lot more information on living in Bali as an expat on wagefreedom.com. Go check it out. I am going to do the basic, run through the basic routines that I do every time I set up a new website, and I use WordPress exclusively. From this page, the first thing I'd like you to do, please, let's go to Settings, Permalink, and you can, actually you've got post name that's already there at the end, but I'd like you to type this in / percentage sign, post name, percentage sign, then /, okay? It's going to make your URLs look the way that, the best way for search engine optimization, okay? Let's go save changes, please. That's the main thing that we needed to do. Well, let's just run through a few of these settings, okay? Notice on the left side of your dashboard, you've got a ton of different things you can do. Let's keep it real simple. I'm not going to give a comprehensive overview today of every single bit of functionality in the dashboard, because I think that bogging you down with too much information would be counterproductive right now. I'm going to give you the bare minimum that you need to proceed. For site title, you might want to just put either your name or something other than my site. So I'll put okay. You could put a tagline, but definitely take just another WordPress site out of there. Okay. These are generic things you don't want on your site. Save changes, don't forget. For right now, for your basic settings, that'll be fine for us, okay? Let's add some plugins. Let's go to installed plugins, please. All right, a few things to do. The general idea with plugins, and there's a million of them. Some of them are extremely handy and downright necessary. The general idea, though, is unless you really need a plugin, I wouldn't have it installed. Okay, you can delete Hello Dolly. I just like to keep things as clean as possible, and definitely only have the plugins installed, at least, that I'm actually using and benefiting from. Here's another one. This is I think specific to Bluehost. I've never used it before, and it's not necessary. So I'm going to suggest that you delete it unless you have a reason yourself for wanting to keep it. Okay. All right. So Akismet, first of all, this is a comment spam, automatic comment spam cleanup. And I definitely recommend using it, okay? It's actually created by the folks who produce WordPress, okay? So you do need to activate it, and I'll quickly, well, actually, up here, let me back this up and just do it in a simpler way for you. So you've got this button here to activate it, okay? There's no downside to doing this, and it's free. I already have an API key, but you can go ahead and click this button here and give them an email. They'll send it to you. You paste it in here, and Akismet is set up, okay? Quite necessary. Back to plugins. What I'm going to recommend you do with Jetpack is to deactivate it. It's just a lot of functionality that isn't really necessary. And so in the spirit of, having plugins, only plugins that we really need, I'm going to suggest that you delete it. You can do a little research on it if you'd like to. It's meant to be an all-in-one sort of a bunch of different packaged up, plugins and functionality for you. But I don't recommend that you use it. Okay, so we're sitting here now with Akismet. All right. I have 3 others that I suggest you install, and the first one is Yoast SEO. SEO is an acronym for search engine optimization. And don't let it scare you. Oh, whoops, sorry. Let's go to the add new under plugins, okay? And in the search box, just Yoast SEO, and here it is right here. Notice it has over 1 million active installs.
very popular. There are other popular SEO plugins as well, but I like Yoast. Not a lot of difference really between them, in my opinion, for most of what you do, especially as a beginner. But bottom line, I would recommend an SEO plugin. Go ahead and activate it now. Okay, so it's activated. You searched for it, you clicked installed, and then you hit activate. Okay, and here you see it. It is activated because it's light blue. This little list is going to be in the article that accompanies this video, but here they are. So go ahead and again install both of these guys, and here it is right here. Also 1 million plus active installs. Oh, there we go. You get the idea. Install, then activate plugin. All plugins in WordPress are installed in the same way. Currently it's disabled. We're going to go in and enable it in a minute. This message will stay up here until you do that. One more that we'd like to add, another new one. We need to do backups periodically so that if something goes wrong with our hosting, or in the event we did get hacked, we would have all the files that we need to rebuild our site. Does that make sense? There's also a ton of backup plugins, but this is very easy to use for a beginner or anyone else. All right, so we've got a little bit of setup that we have to do for all three of these guys. Let's first of all do Super Cache, okay? What this does is it basically, without getting the real technical details, it speeds up the loading of your site, okay? For people who when they come to your site first time and it loads into the browser, on subsequent visits to your site, the site will load faster because it will be cached in their browsers, okay? Or at least pieces of your site will be, and it will load faster, and that's a better user experience. It's also better for SEO. So let's just turn the caching on, okay? And update status. And you can also dismiss this message, and you shouldn't see it again. Be good to go. Okay, that's fine. Back to plugins. Let's go to for our backup plugin. If you go into, again, settings, and now you'll see, since it's installed, a little navigation link. You always have the option with this to just back up right now and download to your hard drive or upload to the cloud, all of your site files and database files and everything. I'll suggest also going into settings. What I would recommend you do is have both of these set at weekly, and click the email here, unless you have Dropbox or Google Drive or another one of these solutions and you're comfortable with setting that up. I don't think it's that difficult, but I'm not going to assume that you have that. But what I do know is that you have an email address that you could have your backups sent to. You can, if you don't update your site very often, you can have this sent to you less often. I mean, that's just fine. We don't want to be cluttering up your email box, but we do want even the latest update of your site always to have been sent to you, if that makes sense. Okay. If you get to a point where your site is quite static and you're not changing it very much, I mean, you could take this out to to a month or whatever you want to do. Okay. I hope I've made that clear. We're simply trying to reliably have files to our site, including the database, someplace other than our hosting, so that we can rebuild the site if our hosting files on our hosting ever have a problem. It's just good practice. Okay, so WordPress knows our default email. For me, it's this one right here. So you can consider yourself, include files in backup. Make sure all these are ticked. You want everything, right? All right. So back to plugins, please. I don't know if I saved, but let me save, and that's a good lesson for you. All right. All right, one last little detail before we get into the fun part, which is creating our first blog post. Come over here, please, to Users on the sidebar and hit Your Profile, all right? Scroll it down, and remember when I had you make a username that was not going to be admin, could be anything other than admin. Right now that's reflected here, which you can't change and you don't care about actually, but it's now also your nickname and your display name. And I'm going to suggest that you write your real first name here, because if you choose to indicate the author of each of your blog posts, and you don't have to, you can turn it off if you want, but if you indicate it, to me it should be your real first name. You're trying to actually connect with your readership, and they want to know at least a little bit about who you are, and I think your first name is not giving too much away. It's my opinion. So make that change, I would recommend. You can also change your profile picture. You do not, or insert a profile picture. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can also add it in the future if you'd like. Or not. The thought behind putting it in here is that it adds some authenticity. It builds trust with readers, and this would be displayed in replies to blog comments that folks will leave you. When you reply, it'll show your little avatar with your photo if you choose to enter it or insert it in this area. Okay, so all that happens in Users and your profile. Don't forget to update, and let's move on to the fun part, our first blog post. I don't think that any tutorial on how to start a blog would be complete if I didn't include how to create your first post, okay, how to add content. All right, let's first of all just delete this hello world post that's in there by default. You should see it too. Move to trash and apply. Well, I think it's good practice to start from scratch, okay? So we are in the posts area, right? And we can just go add new. I'm going to approach this on a very elementary level, because my thought throughout this tutorial is I don't want to lose anyone. Some of you may find the pace that I'm going a little slow, or I'm going through with more detail than you require, and I'm sorry about that, but I just don't want to lose anyone, even people who are a little bit intimidated by the technology, because I think there's a benefit for that. A lot of folks who may be intimidated by technology still have a whole lot that they could offer if they would communicate their experience and some specialized knowledge that they have, etc. So I'm gonna approach this. It's gonna be real quick to show you how to add this new post, but I'm going to do it assuming you have no prior knowledge whatsoever. Alrighty, so we're going to add text, images, and even some video to this first post. So let's do it. So in the title, we can just put a title, and I would hope that you'd be following along in your own browser tab as I do this. Okay, just so that you yourself know how to do this. Now I'm just grabbing some dummy text, okay, just from another place. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste it in there, all right, into our visual editor. And I can obviously keep on going. This works very similar to other, to Word or any other
program you've probably used, even similar to email software, but with more bells and whistles that you'll see in a minute. So let's just add our text. That's easy, really easy. Now let's go ahead and add an image. For that, we go to the Add Media tab. Let's put our cursor where we'd like the image to go. Let's put it right at the beginning. Hit Add Media. Now I have already uploaded an image, but I'm going to walk you through another one in a moment. What I would emphasize is that it's good practice for every single image that you insert into your site, this title feature text that has something to do with the article that you are creating, the post that you're creating, and the image itself. Okay, this helps search engine crawlers to understand what the image is, and if you tag the image properly like this, you will really help your SEO, your search engine optimization. Okay, we are going to, down here we can choose to justify it left or right. Let's arbitrarily say left. Let's make a nice little smallish photo as well. We've got our alt text and our title. Okay, we're just going to insert it into post right here, and there it goes. It's left justified, and there's a little bit of nice white space. It wraps real nicely around our image. I'm going to add another one. Now let's add media. Let's say the same post for good. You can use a similar image if you wanted to, but what I would do for best practices is always make sure that your alt text and title are unique for every image. This is best practice for search engine optimization. It's something a lot of people don't bother with, even today. People who should know better. But I'm teaching you best practices, and trust me, in the long run, this does pay dividends. It's worth doing for every image you use. So let's right justify this guy, same size, put it in, and pops in real nicely. Okay. Okay. Another thing I do want to show you. I'm going to show you where to get images from. Just do a Google search for free images for blogging. Unsplash is an example of some of these sites that don't even require an attribution link back to the photographer. These are free to use, don't even need a link. So, and they're very high quality. So we can, let's just hit download. And this is, quite elementary for some of you, I'm sure, but I just want to be complete. There's no reason not to be for people who are who've never done this before. So save image as, okay? And then we can just say, we'll just say, name it anything at this stage and save it to our hard drive, okay? And we're done. And we're done with Unsplash, okay? So there's our image that we have on our hard drive right now. Now let's say we wanted to add this image at the end of our post for some reason. Just simply put our cursor where we want it, add media, upload files this time, select files, and let's go to our JPEG that we just downloaded to our hard drive. Okay, we're going to let it load. Okay, that's done. This is, again, quite a large image. In practice, you'd want to make it smaller using Photoshop or a similar program, and it's just beyond the scope of this tutorial. Okay, so if you can get it at least under 1 meg, and if not smaller, then that would be great. All right, this time let's we can left justify it. We can say large this time, okay? Insert into post. Okay, pops in really nicely. Now I think you get the idea. see how it's pretty powerful. It can make really professional, nice looking posts. Okay. One other thing, since we're here, I want to show you how to add video from YouTube. Okay. You're going to know text, how to add text, images, and video. With those three different media, you can communicate almost anything that you want to, right? So you've got a video in YouTube you'd love to embed on your site, you can do that. There's YouTube likes it, and trust me, the people who created the video would appreciate it as well if you would embed their video on your site. Okay, so share and then embed. Okay, YouTube gives us this code that we're simply going to copy. Before we do that, hit show more. Note that we have a range of choices in terms of the size of our video, okay? And it'll give us code that reflects the size that we chose, okay? So we can just copy, go back here, and here is one interesting little caveat. So far we've been working in the visual editor. The text editor will show you the exact same content that we've posted so far in this post, but it'll be for things like images and video, they'll be represented with basic HTML code rather than the images themselves that we saw in the visual editors. Does that make sense? So don't get intimidated or too wrapped up by this. It's not a big deal. The reason I'm showing you this is for embedding video. The code that YouTube gives us must be embedded in using the text editor, not the visual. Okay, I've just pasted this in. We're in the text side, and if we go over to visual now, we can see reflected that it shows up properly. If we arbitrarily pasted the same code on the visual editor, we'd get that. Let's go ahead, which we don't want, but let's go ahead and publish now. So this is, again, we've been working on our post, and we can save it as a draft if we don't yet want to publish. But when we're ready, let's just go ahead and let's publish it. Okay? And then we're going to see what we get. All right, now this is the first post yet published on this site, so it's exciting. Let's go to View Post right here at the top. Okay, we don't need these guys anymore, and let's see what our first published post looks like. It looks very similar to what we saw in the visual editor, including the video and including the ugly HTML for the video as well. So all that's doing is showing you that this needs to be embedded using the text editor. I remember in the early days, a long time ago, I used to get wrapped around the axle about just this little thing that you have to know in WordPress, and it was a little stumbling block for me in the beginning. It's a minor thing, but just to I just wanted to get you to the point. Let's update, since we took that HTML out, that extra code, right? Let's update it. We can go back to our post. We can refresh. Obviously, or maybe not obviously, you can always update a published post. Does that make sense? So that code is gone, as you can see, and we've got a real nice looking basis for a post. I mean, you can use images, you can use videos you've created, you can use all sorts of things. The reason I needed to do this in my tutorial was to show you that you've been reading blog posts for years, and it just may never have occurred to you how exactly you can do this yourself and come out with a really nice looking article complete with images and video if it's appropriate, right? I hope that's clear, and that what may have previously intimidated you no longer does. Okay. There's a couple of other things I want to show you, or actually one thing specifically that that if you attend to it, you will be way ahead as you become a self-publishing machine. Your Yoast SEO plugin that you installed, there'll be a little area like this beneath every post. Don't forget to scroll down after you get your post all ready to go, because what you can do if you hit edit snippet is, and maybe this looks a little bit familiar, this is actually what right now would display in the Google search results for this published post. Our title and the little description that tells you what the post is about. Now, with the Yoast SEO plugin, we can tell Google what we would prefer to have as the title and as the meta description. You can see that it's super good if you were using this to sell something, or simply wanted to make it clearer to a potential reader why they should click through to your article out of a billion articles in Google search engine results pages, right? Does that make sense? So let's, instead of our first post, drone pilot coaching, let's say I already entered this in. Let's use a maybe more user-friendly hook, and you can see how this changed. Okay, and then okay. Now this can be. For Google recently changed what it allowed you, the number of characters that it will allow you to post in a title or a meta description. I believe for the meta description now it is 160 characters max. I wouldn't go right up to 160. 150 is fine, but it's a good idea to use the couple lines that they're going to give you here to explain to a user what exactly the post is about. You can also use more characters if it's appropriate for your title as well. I think I've made it clear now. The point is that's part of the beauty of using this Yoast SEO plugin. There's a lot more that you can do with it that's outside of the scope of this tutorial, but I at least needed to show you that, because you're going to, at least initially, get a lot of traffic from search engines, especially Google. This will enable you to up the number of visitors that you get to your site from search, and also they will tend to be more targeted visitors, because again, you're communicating before they click through, you're communicating what exactly a given article is about. And just to make it clear, if we have 1,000 articles on our site, every single one can have a different, we should attend to this on every single post that we do on our site, okay? It's worth the time. Just like when we add an image to a post, it's worth the time putting in the description, the metadata, and the description for each image. Okay, these are small things that will pay dividends over time, search engine optimization wise. They're worth the few extra seconds, and they're simply best practices. Okay, there's one last thing that needs to be in a tutorial video on how to start a blog. Okay, please go over to the appearance navigation link and go hit themes, please, and you'll be looking at a window like this in our WordPress backend. Right now, what these are themes that are supplied to us with every WordPress installation from the folks who create WordPress. They're free, they are bug-free and virus-free. They are perfectly functional, and you can use them. But I just want to show you how easy it is to switch from one to another, and there's a reason why I'm doing this. Okay, right now our active theme is called 2016. Let's arbitrarily activate 2015, and it is just that easy to switch. Okay, now 2015 is active. Let's go over and take a look at, let's visit our new, well, the same site with the new look. Okay. And you'll see it looks quite a bit different. We've got a sidebar on the left side now. The text is larger, right? But notice that the post is exactly the same. Text, images, and video. Okay? Why am I showing you this? In the future, you may choose to purchase a theme that's, let's say, more sophisticated than these baseline themes that the WordPress folks give us. And most of my themes I have actually purchased just because they can sometimes really improve the look and functionality of your site. And there's a million of them out there. But what I want to convey to you now is that if right now today you've got a topic you can start writing about, something you're good at or you're an expert on, don't wait. Start to add content right now to your new blog, because when the day comes that if you do decide to change your theme, all of the content that you have added up to that point is going to be preserved. It's going to be brought over to the new well, it's the same site, but just it's the container, which is the theme, is going to present the same content in a slightly different way. My point is that the content doesn't go away, okay? So there's no reason to think that you've got to get your site, quote unquote, perfect before you march ahead and create your content, because at the end of the day, your content, your unique, high quality content is the thing. It's going to enable you to start making money online and wage freedom, okay? It's not how beautiful your theme is. It's the value that you provide to readers who are hungry for the expertise that you're supplying them with the blog posts that you write. Okay, the look of this site currently, as established by the theme, is not as important as the things like the images you've got. Certainly, the quality of the writing. How pertinent a video that either you create or that you get off YouTube is to the content of this particular article. So you see, we need to most of all emphasize the quality of our content. WordPress allows you to jump into the self-publishing game after having watched a tutorial video that's less than an hour long. There's no reason to make your initial content creation any more complicated than what you've seen in this video. I suggest you move ahead if you've got an idea, either for a business or just want to start writing about something that you have expertise on, that eventually we can build a site upon, okay, that expertise. Start today, start tonight, because there's no time like the present to wage freedom. Starting a blog is the perfect entry point to position yourself for a future where employment might be a little less secure, unfortunately. Online entrepreneurship offers you endless opportunity and a chance to build an income around your interests, abilities, and unique experience. It's how you can take direct control over your ability to earn without the high startup costs of physical businesses. But you have to let the world know about you and what you can do. A blog is still how you start doing that. If you wonder how some people are able to quit their jobs and work online from anywhere on their own financial future, while you wonder how even to get started, well, start here. Empower yourself to start participating in the new economy. Get the main technical hurdle out of the way, which is creating the foundation of your platform. Get started communicating your value to readers and potential fans and customers. And thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you have any questions at all, if I missed any steps, left something unclear for you, please get with me in the comments. I read every comment and I reply as soon as I can. I don't want to leave you hanging. Also, I should tell you, on wagefreedom.com, I'm going to put a few links to the site in the description below this video. But I do have, making money online is a big topic. Installing your blog is just the first step. But what I have is, I've been doing this for a long, long time. The initial stages, the way to think about creating your online business. What is your place in the this new commercial environment that exists online, okay? Because I believe that just about everybody has, there is opportunity for everybody online to make money, and a lot of people have several different directions that they could go based on their their competencies and their experience, okay, their interests, their talents. So refer to wagefreedom.com. A couple links I've got below this video to delve more into this. Okay. Also, on my YouTube channel, I've got how to think about online sales funnels and things like that. So it's how to start a blog is the first step. But and there is some education to be done. You don't need a college education for any of it. It's all the tutorials are there. I myself, I'm trying to make to fill out my offerings. So what I put out is enough for you to understand what the opportunity is, and how best you can take advantage of it. Okay. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for further videos. Hit the little bell right next to the red button, and YouTube will update you every time I add a new video. I'd really appreciate it. And give me a like if you found value in this. Again, Tom from Wage Freedom, how to start a blog. If you've been thinking about doing it for years, it just might be time. We talked just a little bit about choosing a domain. Now, you may have thought about this already, and you may have one in mind. Okay, I've got a little box in the blog post accompanying this video where you can check to see if a domain that you have in mind is available. Okay, simply type it in. .com is still very much preferred. Now, if you have an idea for a domain, go ahead and enter it in, see if it's available. Okay, keep these a few things in mind. All else being equal, the shorter the better. Don't use any hyphens. Don't use any weird spellings. Don't use words like the or an, okay? Now, if you try a couple times and domains that you have in mind are not available, don't worry. Try your name. See if that's available as a .com. And the reason why that makes sense is because unless you have an idea for a business already, which you may, and that's great, but if you don't, you really won't go wrong by registering your own name as a domain name. Okay, look, there's a lot of businesses that you might end up doing that would have you as your own personal brand. Okay, so your name as the brand would make sense. I mean, this could be anything. I mean, you're a creative person, so you're making something, so your name should be associated with it. You could be doing an agency of some kind. There's all sorts of things that your name as your domain name, your .com, would be appropriate for. Okay, so if that is available and you don't have another idea for a specific business and a specific domain name, go ahead and register your name as a .com. Okay, now if it's not available as a .com, and this goes for either your name or something else, a .net is acceptable, but I would really prefer a .com. Let's say you're going to make a website around fixing old motorcycles, and so it's going to be motorcyclefixing.com or something. If and that's a bad example, but if it's another general rule is to you make it as short as you can and still convey what the heck you're doing, but don't make it more than, even 3 words is really pushing it. So 3 short words possibly, but 2 would be the best if you can. But what you can do is especially if you've got something that just really fits the idea that you have. If you have an idea for an online business already, you can do things like add an HQ at the end of it. So it could be Yoga Gear HQ, or Photography Lessons, Fashion Blogging Queen, Fashion Blogging Pro, Fashion Blogging Guide. Add a innocuous little word at the end of the main point of what it is you're doing. can usually think of something to add to the end of it, okay? Something not too long, just one word. Italian cooking pro, or gardening grandpa. You get the idea. It's okay to add an innocuous third word after the two-word point of your site, okay? But the thing is, don't let this stop you in your tracks. I know people who spend weeks or months on choosing a domain name, and it holds them up from ever getting started. They're thinking about the perfect domain name, doing hundreds of searches, and sometimes never ever get started, and so that's a mistake, okay? This probably is not going to be the last domain name you ever buy, okay? And for your information, if 2 weeks down the road you think of something that just fits better, you can just spend that $10 and buy that domain name, and you can hook it up to the hosting package that you're purchasing today, okay? Does that make sense? I can't stress enough, because I did this in the early days myself. I'd have an idea, and I would just go around and around searching for the perfect domain name, and it was too long, or it wasn't quite right, or whatever it was, okay? And I've wasted a lot of time. Don't do what I did, okay? Move forward. If the domain name clearly conveys what it is you're doing, if it's a little quirky, it's okay. It's okay. Millions of dollars are sometimes made from, and I could name a few, and I'm not right now, but websites that have 4 and 5 words in them, okay? Extremely long and unwieldy, but the person went ahead and they did it. I'm thinking of a Make Money Online blogger right now, and I'm not going to mention her site, but she's making over $1 million a year with her blog, okay? So, yeah, please don't let that become something that holds you up. Figure out a domain name and just go with it, because if you have to, you can always swap in a new one later, okay, for the cost of $10 if it comes to that, okay?